Hey, you lovely League summoners that exist in the world. Insight for Nerds here. I'm the Nightwing. JTH is fully recovered. He will be on videos moving forward. I talked to him tonight. He's perfectly fine. Just wanted to make sure he felt better and stuff like that. Wade even hung out, played some Smash Brothers with some couple of people that we know, and he is doing just fine. So on the next video after this, you guys will most likely be seeing him. So there have been teams that have not been doing so well in their respective region, and with that comes change. Today, Misfits Gaming's CEO tweeted this, and we are going to be analyzing and going over it. In my own personal opinion, a lot of teams make these changes. I could see several teams making changes moving forward. One example comes to mind as Clutch. Clutch is on a 6-game losing streak, and I think that if you look at how they're playing, they probably might think a player change is in order. If you look at things like Rogue from EU, Rogue were 0-9, bringing in Vander, got them their first win. So maybe even just as it might not be the best choice on paper, as long as the player brings structure, that's just exactly what you need. So let's go over the tweet and then I'll give my general personal opinions about it. Dear Misfits Gaming fam, we're past the halfway point of the LEC Spring Split, and we're not happy with our performance over the past few weeks. Each loss hurts deeply, especially when we know we can do better. With losses, teams tend to fixate on pain points, magnify the negative, and become demoralized. We will not. It is time for us to reset, refocus, and reorganize. We will have structural changes to our coaching staff in order to maximize the potential of our team. It is our job as an organization to give them support, leadership, and discipline. They need to work together as a team and succeed. Husani Muzvi will be returning as the interim head coach of the LEC team, effective immediately, and will remain in place for the rest of the spring split. So if you guys don't remember who Husani is, it was the same guy they had from 2016 when they came in as a challenger team to 2018 after they failed to make Worlds after making Worlds in 2017. He stepped down and took Jez's place, and Jez took over as head coach as per what you guys have been seeing when he is on stage. Jesse Lee will be the new player development coach for both the LEC and the Misfits Premier team. We believe this role best maximizes his strengths, working with players on an individual level to promote well-being and personal growth for all our players. Lee Pumandu will remain in his role as assistant coach, and Robert Yip will remain as performance coach. We are Misfits in much more than name alone. We want to show our fans and the esports community that Misfits will never stay down. Through grit, perseverance, humor, and lots of creativity, we evolve and grow. We hope you will continue to add fuel to our fight as part of the Misfits family. Ben Spunt, CEO and co-founder and CEO of Misfits Gaming. Now, if you actually don't understand any of this, basically here's what it's saying. We were on a 4-game losing streak. Is it 4 games? I'm pretty sure they've lost their last 4 games in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it's 5, then please correct me. But they've lost their last 4 games, and they even took a loss to Rogue. Rogue were 0-9. Misfits were power ranked at least 3rd, 4th, generally around that area in terms of power ranking. Some people even had them at 2nd. Now, JTH is very outspoken that they are a super team built off more of accolades than actual players in their star roles. Max Lore has not been performing to his star level. Thebevin did not really look that good coming from North America after his stint over here. You look at Gorilla, who had a mildly underperforming summer 2018 split on Kingzone. Then you had Soaz, who, people regard him as pretty good. He's okay in my own personal opinion. He's pretty solid. Kind of just another version, a better version of Impact, just without a world championship, if you can kind of look at that. But can have carry performances and lead a team in a certain direction if it benefits that. Now, I think that he's never been the main shot caller of a team. That's kind of always been dictated by a lot of other people. But he's overall genuinely decent at the game. There has been some years where he's looked absolutely atrocious. I think that 2018 was good for him, and I think that 2019 has been actually stellar for him. He's actually been performing well above my standards for a top laner. I think in my power rankings for top laners that I didn't get a chance to do for EU, I had him at like 7th, that's based off recency and other times of not performing correctly, but he's actually performing really well. If you look at his gameplay, he's performing absolutely great. But if you look at other things around the map, Hansama and Gorilla are losing 2v2. It looks like Misfits' general direction about the game really isn't going anywhere. If you look at the draft phase, it's really geared toward getting Hansama ahead, getting him resources. They're not really funneling a lot of more resources into top, into mid. It looks like if Hansama just doesn't get ahead or dominates the lane with Gorilla, then they just completely fall apart. And that shouldn't be what their team is doing. They have great players in every position. Yes, each of them individually has had slumps, but that doesn't really trump what they've all did and what we know they can achieve. So as was just on Fnatic the previous year when he went to World Finals. You look at Maxlore. Maxlore at one point challenged SKT and almost knocked them out of the 2017 World Championship. You look at Febivin, solo killed Faker in its career. Like, how many people can say they've done that? You have Hansama, who was also with Maxlore during that time period of almost knocking out SKT in 2017. Then you also have Gorilla. Gorilla's regarded as the second best support in the entire world, actually. So it's really, really interesting that they're actually losing this much. Now, to be fair, they're only on a 4-game losing streak. That could be due to schedule. They did have to face G2 and Schalke, I think, or Vitality, or one of those teams. And those teams actually are power ranked to be really high in the standings. But they did take a loss to XL. That was a kind of starting worrying trend for them. But the really interesting thing is that Jesus is getting placed to be player development coach. Now, Jesus, in my own personal opinion, is not a bad person at all. He's a pretty cool guy. From all the interviews I've watched, he's a pretty cool dude. He played mid for SK Gaming. He was on Team Coast. He was on Fnatic at one point. Isn't that crazy? He was on Fnatic with Soaz, and then later on, Jesus leaves, does his own thing, comes over to Misfits, becomes a the strategic coach. And then later on, before this year started, he took over the head coaching position. Some people said it might be due to the fact that he doesn't give an authority role. He said that's not the issue with the team. And I think there was an interview on the Shot Caller where Febivin basically said that, even if you do have star players on the same team, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll work out. Just because you've had success some years doesn't mean you're not going to have success this year. That is a thing that happens with sports. I think people just misread those in terms of league. A lot of people just look at names on paper with League of Legends teams and go, okay, that team's going to do automatically well, without counting in other bad factors when you're actually looking at a team. You don't know if they're going to work together, how resources is going to get funneled. If these players, before, when we signed them, were just struggling. You got a lot of these players that previous year, they were struggling, aside from like Maxlore, and then now he's currently struggling too. I think that, will this change make a difference? I think so. I think we've seen Husani draft pretty well. A lot of people have said his drafts are actually pretty good. I don't think the drafting was at fault with Misfits. I think the game plan that Jesus gave them was overall fine. I just think that it's just the players themselves either just, one, underperforming, they have a bad week, or they're just not up to the standard anymore. It could literally just be all three. I think it's just a slump they're going through. A lot of teams have growing pains. Since this is a technical super team, they go through growing pains. A lot of new teams go through growing pains. It's interesting to see they're not making any player moves. That's fine. I don't think they should be moving players. I still don't think that Jesus was the actual problem, but they said that they want to persevere and grow, and that's fine, but we'll see how it pans out for them. And this is their official tweet. They tweeted this 20 hours ago, so less than a day ago. I'm going to be checking the esports page to see their next matches. So we'll see if, Husani can give them a draft that's right for them, it's really interesting. Like, once I saw them drop a game to Rogue, I felt like there was a change coming. I still think there's a change coming for Clutch Gaming too, despite all their losses, but they might try this week because they have a relatively easy schedule, considerably easy with Optic and GG, but that is neither here nor there. This is about EU. Misfits face SK Gaming, who have 2-0'd Fnatic this split, but that's not really saying anything because Fnatic sucked this split. Sorry for the Fnatic fans. And then you have Misfits facing Origin. Origin literally just clapped G2. I do want to preference that G2 clapped Origin the first week, so they're 1-1. That means one team is not better than the other. But looking at Misfits, they're facing Origin and they're facing SK. So this could be a tough week for them. And if this coaching change doesn't work, then I don't know what will, because they're just not performing. They're just having a slump. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. Hope you guys really did enjoy this little news update video. Like I said, JTH is fine. He recovered from being sick. So wish him well when he comes back on. See you guys later. Bye. Have a good day. Let me know what your thoughts are and on how you would fix Misfits or what you think that they can improve on, actually. Bye. See you guys later. Out. The Nightwing signing out.